Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto, and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now, today we are in the politics server and joined on G+ by One Deck, Neil, Eli. So welcome, one and all.
Good morning, y'all.
Nathan, I have to say, you have a...
That was good. You have a great evening.
Greetings.
Yeah, that was very good. I have to say, you have a very captivating voice, which I think does add some legitimacy to the incorrect information that you are sharing.
I do apologize for swearing. I didn't know you had a rule against
So
that.
I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of Thick because he wanted to ask a question, but now he wants to talk about other things.
No, sorry.
You're going to stick on topic?
I can ask my question.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to Nathan about the lines of latitude being based on a flat Earth. I just wanted to hear his argument one time, and then I'll ask my question.
It's not an argument, it's a measurement.
You're right. And you're saying that the lines of latitude on our spherical Earth are all conceptual.
No, the guy in the pre-show said that.
Well, yeah, and my thing is that maps can be made any way you want them, and it's always about the goal of the viewer. So I wanted to mention, Nathan, I'm a meteorologist, so I kind of have a bias here. I'll be talking a little bit more about weather to support my arguments and stuff. But when it comes to the tropics, right, when it's hurricane season, we look at like the Mercator view, which is the flat Earth view. And therefore, yeah, your lines of latitude are going to look different and they're always going to be lines of latitude which are constant around a sphere, but they can be portrayed differently. And even on a spherical Earth that you might have in a classroom or your home office or something, that is all conceptual. But yeah, just wanted to say that, just because lines of latitude are based on a flat Earth,
they're measured,
doesn't mean that lines of latitude on a sphere can't exist.
Okay, how do they get measured?
They get measured based upon the entire circumference of the Earth.
No, that's not how they're measured. You obviously don't know how latitude's measured.
Well, explain it.
You were just telling me how it was measured and you don't know. Why did you just attempt to tell me how it was measured when you don't know? Why am I being spoken to while I tell some fundy off about incorrect assertions that they got wrong? He just told me it was based on a globe. Now he's still talking like he's been invited to respond. I'm talking now. Did you think the last 2.5 minutes of you talking was your invitation to immediately start chanting through any responses I give you? Because you're still yakking.
I'm sorry.
I'm done with him. I don't want to talk to him anymore.
Oh, wait, now I have one question about...
Shout out to Duncan MacLeod. They are all flat Earth views. Lol. I don't really understand what that means, I've got to be honest, Duncan. But thank you for the super chat, all the same. Also, shout out to Unitox Femu. On which latitude is Bolivian Salt Flat Lake, Suez Canal, and Hungarian Plain? I don't know. Why are you asking me that via super chat? Shall I just guess? 20th? I don't know.
Do you know why, Nathan?
Go on, Sasha, why?
Because there are discussion about latitude, and I ask where, because that is the big flat surface. It's called Hungarian Plain. Then another big flat surface, it's a Bolivian Salt Flat Lake. Then another big, it's Suez Canal, flat canal, you know. I want to know which, does that depends on which latitude it is, or that, or what is important? Does that surface should to curve, or we should to say what is the latitude? Is it that the part of the surface? Is it that working on the map, or something like that? That's why I'm asking, you know, in which latitude all these flat surfaces are. Can somebody from Globers answer, not you, Nathan?
Okay. Same answer, I don't know. But I know what latitude is.
So you can draw lines of latitude around a globe, and
How do they get measured?
They draw them east to
How do they
west
get measured?
parallel to the equator.
You can, yes.
That's how they measure them.
Can you do that on South? Can you do that line? Can you draw that line?
Covered this. Sorry, everyone stop.
Sasha.
Everyone stop.
Sasha.
Stop. No, I've just spent 25 minutes covering this in the pre-show. Okay. Yes, you can, as the gentleman just suggested, draw lines of latitude around a globe. Yeah, I can draw them around a banana. That's fascinating. How do they get measured? Off a flat Earth. On screen now for my audience is an angle of elevation marked latitude. What is it? Well, it's a line along the surface. That's the baseline. And a line up to Polaris. That's latitude. It's a flat Earth elevation angle measurement of a star. That's what it is. Now, can you then take that flat Earth elevation angle measurement of this star, Polaris, and wrap the circle of equal altitude you can draw with respect to its GP around a globe? Yes. You can take the measurement and put it onto a concept. But the measurement is flat. Shout out to Duncan MacLeod again. He says, he said the Mercator view was the flat Earth view, but they are all flat Earth views. Well, no, they're all distorted globe projections that came from origin measurements of latitude and longitude. So they're all conversions and distorted for that reason. You start with flat Earth angles to the stars, you convert those lines of latitude onto the globe surface conceptually, and then project what you then claim to measure off a curved surface that won't give you an angle back into hell at the equatorial plane in the centre of the sphere, which is essentially just a glorified protractor. That's what they actually do. Now, I know that, but these numpties who come here and tell me that latitude is just something you draw around a globe, yeah, your crude knowledge of how this comes to pass isn't going to overcome the fact it's measured flat. And every time you tell me what you can do with latitude, I'll just ask you how it's measured. Because that's how it's measured, flat. Now, when you deny it and make it a concept like the guy in the pre-show, then you deny the globe surface, don't you? Suddenly, the globe surface is conceptual. Yeah, absolutely is. Meanwhile, the measurements are flat.
The way that you measure it, the way you measure it on a globe is it's just they're measured as angles from the center of the Earth.
Oh, so you're measuring angles in hell? Sorry, I heard you. I heard you. So we measure angles in hell. No, you measure angles on the surface. That is not how we measure angles. Just ask Thunderfoot Clown. He's just released a video in the last 3 days where he unequivocally measures angles with respect to a plane of reference on the surface and then explains how you must, as I just explained 35 seconds ago, transpose the flat Earth angles into hell. You've just told me it's okay we measure them from hell. Oh, right. Show me.
Hell? You mean like the biblical hell? Is that what you're talking about?
No, you said it. I'm not talking. You brought it up and said we measure angles from the centre of... Is it just me, or am I getting talked through the summary that's obviously stupid because we don't measure angles from hell in the centre of Earth as he just suggested? And I pointed out Thunderfoot did the same thing 3 days ago, but he measured from the surface, as I'm saying you must, on screen now, latitude, surface level measurement. When you've got that surface level measurement of a flat Earth now being chanted through again, once you've got the surface level measurement with respect to the star, you can transpose it into hell, but you've got to first create the globe to wrap around the equatorial plane, to then deny the angle that you can't get from the globe surface, to have a reason to transpose it into hell. You just said we just measure it in hell. No, we don't. We measure it on the flat Earth.
You think that hell is at the center of the Earth, the biblical hell? Is that what you're saying?
Non sequitur.
Oh
You
my
said we
God.
measure it from the center of Earth. We
I'm
do
legitimately
non sequitur, and I'm going to respond to the non sequitur fallacy. I'm obviously not going to just get chanted through, clearly. No, I said hell, as in your reference to the center of Earth that you said we measured the angle from. That was non-responsive, non sequitur. You didn't address my rebuttal.
Okay, I was just confused because are you literally saying that hell is at the center of the earth, or are
You
just,
said that. You said that's where we measure this angle,
I
and
didn't.
we don't. My response again is non sequitur away from it. Like hell is the confusion here. He says we measure an angle from the center of a ball. I say no, we don't. We're not measuring angles in hell. Now his question is about whether or not hell is something. No, we're not measuring angles from the center of a sphere. We are measuring them from the flat surface. They're angles.
That's your claim.
No, it's a fact. It's latitude measurement. It's on screen for my live audience of 72 people. They can see latitude. How it's measured with angles, that's a fact. So, sir, like the guy in the pre-show, you deny latitude measurement then?
No, I'm denying the extrapolation from the idea that you can measure latitude on a flat surface, and that means that the Earth itself is not a globe. I don't agree with that.
So you deny the latitude wrapped around the globe then?
No, I've said.
Well, how's that measured? Well, how's that measured? Well, how is that measured then?
I just said
well, okay. We've got him between a rock and a hard place, and he doesn't want to accept the position, so he keeps talking when the question comes. Okay, you accept latitude on the surface of the globe you believe you're standing on. Okay, you accept it. Then you accept their measurements, don't you?
Who's they? Who are you talking about? Like,
Latitude measurement
I don't
is
accept your...
I'm being asked a question and then he's continuing to talk. Latitude measurement is an angle measurement off the surface of Earth. I'll define altitude angle. Altitude angle is a line of sight between you and the object in the sky and the horizontal plane the observer is standing on. That is an altitude angle measurement. That is what is required to measure an altitude angle, a flat Earth. Now that is how latitude, which is very specifically an altitude angle to Polaris, is measured. Now that's not a claim, that's not debatable, that is a stone-cold fact. Altitude angle of Polaris is latitude, and I'm getting talked through and chanted through, shocking. Now he can either accept that measurement, which is absolutely, without question, of a flat Earth. Its elevation, which is with respect to the surface, and an angle, one of which is the surface, and it must be a flat, straight baseline for it to form an angle. Earth is measured flat for latitude. If you deny this measurement, you deny the latitude on the surface of your globe, which is extrapolated out after it is measured.
So latitude is the measurement of how far north or south a location is from the equator. It's measured in degrees, starting at 0 degrees at the equator and increasing to 90 degrees at the north or south poles. This is done on a globe model, not a flat Earth model.
No, we're not measuring on models. We're not measuring in hell. And latitude is not the turning of you in hell and the globe around you. An angle measurement to Polaris,
Okay,
as it seems like I let him talk and my response isn't being listened to. It seems like my response is getting yammered through by a chanting zealot religious globe believer. Why is my response met with a continual stream of interruptions from my opponent when I'm responding to him? No, latitude, as he just described, was him in hell turning the globe around him. No, on screen now. The protractor used to measure the angle to Polaris isn't the globe that you're inside. But that's what you just suggested, that latitude is somehow the turning of the globe Earth with you inside it. No, latitude's an angle measurement off the surface. After the fact, you can transpose this angle into hell and suggest that the angle that you measured on the surface is actually the turning of a globe Earth protractor. It isn't. It's a measurement of a flat Earth on the surface.
He must know that because he just mentioned degrees.
Yeah, degrees that he said was the Earth turning. He's saying it's the number of degrees of the Earth rotating around its own axis with you in the centre. That's why he decided to distract away from the fact that hell has got something to do with it, because he knows that in his suggestion, his assertion, is you're standing in hell twisting the globe around your position. Nobody's in hell, and the angle measurement isn't being measured if you're standing in a molten iron core. On the surface, meanwhile, you measure an angle to Polaris. After the fact, you can create a globe with that angle and the latitude lines to wrap around a globe, but when you do that, you've got a surface that won't give you an angle. So what do you have to do when you've got a surface that won't give you an angle anymore? Suggests that actually it's working in the middle of the globe at the equatorial plane so that it can still function as an angle in hell with the globe itself as the protractor. That's what he's doing. Meanwhile, I keep asking him, where does this get measured? Oh, well, no, it's not a measurement. It's me in hell twisting a globe around me. No, it's definitely a measurement. It's been on screen the whole time. It's an angle off the surface. It's flat. Earth must be flat to measure this angle. That is how it's measured. You can deny it all you like, or you can just move past the fact that we measure Earth flat for latitude with Polaris off the surface. It's an angle, and say that it's a globe-Earth protractor with you in hell twisting the globe around you. No, you're not. So how is latitude measured? Your last response was to say it's conceptual and in hell. No, it ain't. It's actually measured off the surface off a flat Earth, like on screen for my audience. So either you deny that measurement of a flat Earth, in which case you deny the latitude lines that are wrapped around your globe conceptually after the measurement, or you accept that Earth's measured flat for latitude, because it is. That's what's on screen right now. A flat Earth measurement of an angle to Polaris with 90 degrees at the base of Polaris. That's what it is. Don't have to like it. Earth's measured flat.
1 second, I need to help out Atheist Junior. Atheist Junior, Nathan is making fun of you for saying center of Earth. Or some people believe hell is in the center of Earth. He's making fun of you. You don't have to rage quit. Just answer his questions.
That's all right. Let him rage quit. All he could do is chant through me in the devastating parts where we do actually acquire measurements of Earth for latitude. At the point that he'd said, no, it's just conceptual, because in my concept, I'm in the middle of hell. But hell becomes the point of contention. Well, fine. That's pathetic, and anybody watching it knows it. 98 people watching, please share the show. We're in the politics server, which is why it's all getting heated. Lots of zealots chanting. I got swore at this morning when I put someone between a rock and a hard place, told me to F off at the point that he either denied the latitude that he told us was a concept, in which case his globe surface is a concept, or accept that it's measured flat. He started effing and blinding at me. It was epic. Can't wait to trim that out.
You gonna make yourself a trophy?
Yeah, video. I trim them out and make money with them so I can feed my family. It's not a trophy. It's something I do for money. And maybe I'm being answering. Maybe I'm answering him and he needs to talk through the answer. He's just got to the question he asked me. Oh, maybe your answer in the middle of my still repeating the same thing slightly louder with you talking through me. Were you the guy who asked me what chanting was?
I just find it weird the definition of chanting that you use, because that's
it was him that was talking about chanting. So no, I'm not going to make a trophy with it. I was trying to answer your question, and now you're back onto this, which is chanting. I was answering your question about whether or not I make a trophy. No, I will make a YouTube video to demonstrate the zealotry of globe belief when they deny the measurements that they need to wrap around their globe, or accept that Earth is measured flat. And upon being put between a rock and a hard place, as I call it, someone started swearing at me. I believe that was you.
I heard you. You don't have to repeat everything you say.
Yeah, I do. And I will. I'll repeat it right now.
Okay.
He was put between a rock and a hard place and either denied his globe and the latitude wrapped round them or accepted Earth was flat. I'll repeat it again. He either denied the globe or accepted flat Earth measurements. That was the position he swore at me as a result, and then chanted and told me to stop. Told me I must stop repeating my win. I must stop repeating my victory when I put you between a rock and a hard place of denial of the globe's latitude wrapped around the surface as conceptual, says you, end quote, or acceptance of the flat Earth measurement. You will measure it's on screen for my audience now, along the surface which must be flat. You swore at me as a result of that, and now you're telling me to stop repeating my victory. Absolutely not. I'll repeat it with you, quote, chanting through me, because you can't take it. It's very painful for you. I'm going to repeat it again. You were screwed and needed to swear at me because you couldn't help yourself in defeat. So you denied the globe. It was conceptual, remember? So no globe for you, just a concept. Not the surface we're standing on with latitude. Conceptual, you said. All right, well, I'm a realist. I've got plenty of examples of latitude measurement off the surface of Earth with an elevation angle. I don't have to deny it as conceptual as a flat earther. That's how we measure Earth. It's flat. You lost.
You actually give people like time to speak, and that you aren't just interrupting people and talking constantly, so that when they try to respond, you accuse them, oh, you're chanting, mate. The Earth's flat, isn't it? You're chanting.
Sorry, was that ad
You're gonna use
hominem
your
non
time to
sequitur
do
the same
that?
ad hominem non sequitur that we got last time, where he doesn't actually address the rebuttal and fact and summary of him denying the globe as conceptual or accepting a flat Earth measurement? We're talking about the debate structure and taking the mickey out of my English accent. That's an ad hominem attack.
Sure, I know it is. But I never said the Earth was conceptual. I said that latitude lines is a concept.
Stutter for me. Stutter for
geography.
me. So you
It
accept
doesn't
the
mean
measurements of latitude then? So you accept their measurements
that
then?
means my
How do we
argument's
measure them?
invalid if I stutter.
Yeah,
That
I
makes
can
sense.
chant through you too. Yeah, the point that you start stuttering, so it's embarrassing for you while I laugh at you, Glurf. I'm laughing
Does
at
that
you
mean
and
my
making it
argument's
more
wrong if I
awkward.
stutter?
The moment you start stammering over your words, I do it with a big smile on my face in victory. Tell me not to repeat my victory again.
Don't repeat your victory again.
Oh, well, you said that the globe was conceptual. You denied latitude
didn't.
measurements as conceptual, and now you're chanting through me in defeat.
No, I didn't.
Maybe you'd like to swear at me again. You said that the latitude was conceptual. End quote,
You're
you.
so upset about swearing.
That's non sequitur. I've just put it to him that he very specifically told us that latitude was conceptual, end quote, him, and now he's telling me how upset about swearing I am. Non sequitur ad hominem
Keep
fallacy.
bringing it up. Why is it you don't answer any?
Can we get rid of this guy? I'm done with him. I'm done with him. He's doing nothing but ad homing me. And he's taking the mickey out of my English accent. That's racist. Can we remove him, please? I'm done with him. He's lost badly. Now he's just sharing his pain through the top of me. Go away and stutter about how globe-shaped the Earth isn't and how conceptual latitude is, mate. You lost badly. Earth's measured flat with latitude. It's measured off a flat surface. You can take the mickey out of my English accent all you like. Earth's measured flat. Well, isn't this fun? Please share the show. 109 people watching. I'm sure you all revel if you're a flat earther in the fact that you can either deny your globe and the latitude wrapped around it, or accept that Earth is measured flat with this angle to Polaris. Those are your positions. Enjoy! It's never going to change. This is how it's going to be till we all vanish. That's how it's going to be. Earth's measured flat, ladies and gentlemen. There's no getting around it, and you will be reduced to a stuttering, stammering, sentence fragments forming glurf when I put it to you. What's the guy that the TJ or whatever he's called? Next!
The words out of my mouth.
Shout out to Price of Adam, it says levels flat, gas fills space, FED rules. Thank you for the super chat.
It is quite an amazing thing for someone to have a claim on the table that this person doesn't answer questions, and their proof of that is to ask more questions. I thought you just said the person doesn't answer. If you think the person doesn't answer, why would you ask? Like even their baseline epistemology is complete collapse, a complete epistemological collapse, and they're not even sure why they're doing what they're doing. It's like they're just a stimulus reaction. They see the topic and they just lose their mind.
Yeah. This is where you take them. If they deny the latitude measurement, they deny the globe. If they accept the latitude measurement, they accept Earth's measured flat. That's the only outcome in this particular debate now. People want to deny flat Earth measurements, which form the maps and models and indeed form the globe, and you can deny it all you like, because you're denying the globe. But when you accept it, you accept a welcome to flat Earth for it, because it's a flat Earth measurement. Thank you, G+. That you made my editing experience much easier today than you normally do. I was expecting horrendous interruptions from Neil the entire time, and I didn't get any. Thank you. Sometimes get left in editing hell from G+ interruptions. Now, I'm going to do a little plug because I'm live for an audience. So check out the recent video coverage of Thunderfoot. Thunderfoot, who is a much bigger YouTuber, is going to have a much more profound effect on this debate unbeknownst to him, 3 days ago when he released his video measuring Earth flat with latitude. Just like we've debated about. Now, up until now, we've had 9 months of us debating with glurfs and them being put between a rock and a hard place, just as we've had happen twice today. With them stuttering and stammering. When Thunderfoot does it, and he's not denying the flat Earth measurements, he's making them. That will have a profound effect and has already. People suddenly go, oh, this is weird. Everything that flat Earth debate have been talking about for the last 9 months is being described quite openly by Thunderfoot as he goes out and buys spirit levels and establishes horizontal planes of references for angles to Polaris. Yeah, Thunderfoot measures Earth flat. You measure Earth flat. We measure Earth flat. Earth is measured flat. It's just a lot more profound when a glurf does it and then says, you've just got to take this flat Earth elevation angle measure I just took and put it in hell. You've just got to tell yourself they're the same. End quote, Thunderfoot. So yeah, you can tell yourself that the flat Earth measurement you acquired is just the same as the one in hell when you make the globe a protractor. You can tell yourself that like Thunderfoot did. But him saying it is quite profound for me when I use it as a teaching tool. Look, this is how you create your globe from our perspective as flat earthers. No, it's latitude's conception. No, it's not a measurement. However, when flurf is overcome by glurf, Thunderfoot, when him actually physically doing it, that's a lot more effective. Happy days. Thank you so much, Thunderfoot. You've affirmed 9 months of work by actually doing it, measuring Earth flat and then putting the angle in hell. How wonderful! So it's far less effective when I trim up these videos and stick them out with glurf idiots from this server or any other server telling me how, no, it's not really a measurement. I accept the concept. That's not that great. People respond to it and they start to get the argument. Much more effective when I point out that Thunderfoot's literally doing it with a smile on his face. Here's my very level for the angle on the surface. And if I draw a line that's not level on the tangent that won't give me an angle, I can put that in hell and just tell myself it's the same. That's what you've got to do, glurfs. Take the flat Earth angle measurement like Thunderfoot made at the sand dunes, and then you've got to put it in hell and tell yourself the angle you just measured on the flat surface is actually you in hell standing inside a giant protractor. That's what you've got to do. What I'll point out is that if you say it's conceptual and in hell, then it's not the surface of Earth anymore, is it? It's just a concept you've created. But if you accept that we do measure latitude, then you accept the flat Earth, because that's how it's measured.
I have a question
Nathan.
if you're done.
I watched the video too. It's great. I mean, because Thunderfoot goes on vacation in America, and his main purpose was to just rip Elon Musk. Like the first half of the video is just him going to all these sites where the Hyperloop was. You know, he's mocking these robotic cars getting stuck in the parking lot. And at the very end of the video, he goes out to the desert for some camping trip. Yeah, and measures Earth flat. And then inverts the measurements and says, this is down where the core would be plus or minus 20%. You're like, dude, you're way off. You know, like, even like your fudged data doesn't even give you something close. And he's like, oh, but wind and, you know. I'm like, do you even, like, why end the video looking like a complete buffoon? Like, you want to mock.
I think that's intentional. Don't major on the minors. What did he do to mess up? Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he messed it up. He didn't extrapolate out the correct spherical circumference value. No, he was measuring Earth flat. So the fact that he ballsed it up completely in the extrapolation is irrelevant. The angles he took with respect to a flat surface are the measurements. That's the only measurements that were took. They were a flat Earth measurement. So ballsing it up is almost beneficial, because then people come along and go, oh, look, you got it wrong. What? The extrapolation using flat Earth measurements? When I was critiquing, it stopped at the point that he stopped measuring and went, that's it, that's the measurements done off a flat Earth. What he does after this is irrelevant. So after that, he then ballses it up and gets the wrong value. Yeah, but it's still irrelevant. Yeah, he's not very good at doing it. But he doing what? Measuring Earth flat? Well, he still measured Earth flat. Everything else beyond that's inconsequential. So I just want to nip that in the bud now. Don't focus on the fact he ballsed up his sphere Earth extrapolation from flat Earth angle measurements. That's the bit that matters, not the ballsing up the globe bit that he extrapolates out afterwards, after flat Earth measurements.
Oh, yeah, I think with the point that I was more trying to make, I see what you're talking about, though, is that he wanted to have, in the video, his main purpose was to make Elon Musk look like a buffoon, but he made himself look like a buffoon. Like, he is shot, like, he wasn't even over the target.
I didn't know that, actually.
He's like,
so I see what you're saying, because I did ignore that bit of your point, which was also very valid. Sorry. Yes, you're saying it's out of spite he's gone to certain locations. I did not know that. But yeah, when pride comes before a fall. So if he's out there going, I'm going to mock Elon Musk, the idiot, and I'm going to do it all these locations, and then I come along and go, you're measuring Earth flat, you Dumbo. But you weren't really paying attention to that bit when you were mocking Musk, is your point, right?
yeah, like all these failures that Musk has done proves that somehow he's not the guy. And then he does exactly the same thing. He messes up just basic measurements and then just hand waves it. Well, I'm close enough.
Yeah. Close enough with your flat Earth angles. Well, good for you. You measured Earth flat, Thunderfoot. And I'll be using you as a teaching tool from moving forward. That'll be an exceptionally useful video that I will use frequently. You know, gas go down, go boom, boom, got used up for 2 or 3 years, but eventually it faded out of popularity. It had some legs, though. This will add more legs because it's more useful. We've been debating about it in here, trying to push the front foot forward motivation of a flat earther in this server. Well, you can't get much better motivation when you say, look, we've been telling you that more and more people will come forth and start telling you from the globe perspective how they measure Earth flat, and then Thunderfoot does it. What a wonderful teaching tool. I could kiss the guy, seriously. Thank you, Thunderfoot. I mean that sincerely. Thank you so much. You've validated 9 months' worth of work.
Nathan,
yes,
please make more YouTube shorts. I don't know what that app is that you're on where you have 2 people and you flat smack them in 1 minute, but I love it.
Yeah, I've got some ready to release. They'll be released over this weekend. If you're watching this live, it's Friday. Over Saturday and Sunday, at the normal time the debate comes out and the normal time the Uncut and After Show comes out on the second channel, I'll be releasing OMI videos. They're OME TV videos. Those are the ones you're talking about, right? Yeah, I'll release 4 of them over the weekend. So I have already made some this week. Just put them out to members first. You want to hear one? We've already had a bit.
Nathan.
We've already had a bit of swearing on this show, so one where you won't get to see it, but you get to hear it. They don't all go well. So the 4 that I'm going to release over the weekend are when the reaction isn't exactly as you'd like, but have a listen.
Why are you on this, lad?
Making YouTube videos. Why are you on here?
Making YouTube videos.
You're making YouTube videos.
Yeah, man.
For what?
Are you stupid? What are you making them for? Right?
Telling people about their religion that they were taught in science that they didn't know they have. What about you?
So you're telling someone about a religion, but yet you're making a YouTube video on OMI. Nice one, pal.
That's exactly right.
So you're not doing nothing about religion.
Yeah, telling people about the religion they were taught in science class that they didn't know they have. Asking me what I'm doing. Those are the videos I'm making. I'm making it with you right now. This will be a video.
Shut the fuck up. What you think you are, but...
Okay. Bit dumb, right? Did you know you had that religion?
What religion?
Heliocentrism, the one they taught you in science class that you didn't know you had.
I don't care, man.
You don't care about... That's it. So that'll get released over this weekend. That's currently members only. Yeah, they don't all go perfectly. You know, often they'll just get angry and shout at you. Shocking, eh?
I love it though. That's even funny to release those.
They actually get mixed bag reactions from the members. So the people who are into the stream sometimes watch those ones and go, "Why have you released these? These are bad." I'm like, well, you know, I'll take them as I get them. If I get to talk about my subject, I'm going to trim it out if it's good or bad. So one of them was 3 or 4 kids. Say kids, they're in their late teens, early 20s. But, you know, pumping weights and basically ripping me to shreds. Not with good arguments, just with personal attacks and insults, right? And I just sort of smiled for 20 minutes and taped the whole thing and then published it. And people are like, wow, the scumbaggery of people. Wow, are these really Britain's, what are going to be leading Britain in 10 years' time? Things like that. Like, at the time, your heart's racing because you're getting insulted. Obviously, it affects you to a certain degree, but you try and keep your composure, and then you just edit out the most egregious threats, literally, and then publish it. So, yeah, it doesn't always go the way that people would hope, which is you get to tell someone that they've got a religion, tell them how Earth's measured flat, and they go, wow, I can't believe it.
That was a good one with them two guys. They was asking you some pretty good questions, them two lads. I watched it the other day. You was quite impressed with them. Can't remember the actual questions he was asking you. I think he was asking you about distorted maps and about something about when rockets go up, but where does it, where is the end of the, wherever it is. But do you remember the one I mean, Nathan?
Absolutely. Because they were saying about, well, what is up high then? As in, what is the sky? But he phrased it in a way about what's beyond a certain altitude. I can't remember how he phrased it, but he phrased it in a way that told me he's not just saying, well, what's the sky? He's thought about it. Well, at a certain point, we can go up to a certain height, but what's beyond that was kind of how he phrased it. I'm like, yeah, you're thinking about it, aren't you? And I had to be honest and go, I don't know. And I love those questions, the ones that I would have asked when I first got to the subject. Well, what the hell is the sky then? What is beyond what we know can travel to and have travelled to in terms of altitude? And the answer is, I don't know. I just know that NASA then say it's a sky vacuum and they're travelling to Mars and the Moon through it, which isn't true. So when you ask questions like that, I'm really appreciative of it. Same with the maps. It's like, well, are the distances on the maps correct? I'm like, no, they're all distorted. They've all been buggered with by transposing flat Earth elevation angles and circles of equal elevation and latitude lines onto globe-shaped surfaces with equatorial planes in hell, and then Haversine formula conversions to give you your flat grid when projecting it onto a cylinder and cutting it back out and down the middle and making it a flat map, which is the Mercator projection. Like, all of these things and processes take its toll on the actual verifiable distances on the maps. It's going to distort them. So, as a non-cartographer, I've got a vague idea of how that distortion process works as I just detailed it, but that's about the length of my knowledge. But could I answer his question? They might be accurate. Certainly Ordnance Survey maps are accurate on the smaller scales that they give you, but that's as much as I know, having only limited use of maps myself. But good questions, I completely agree. I love those sorts of questions. People, you can tell they've offered up some critical thought to their question, right?
That's how it should be, isn't it? That's how it should be. If nobody's thought about these things, gas pressure containment, elevation angles, latitude grid, how is it first derived, what tools are used, but when this is put forth to somebody who's, that's what they should be doing, thinking, well, yeah, I can understand exactly what you mean, and you've got a point, and it's a bloody good point, because they haven't come across this before. They've not heard of this talk. They've just gone with what they've been taught at school and the indoctrination they've had from school, like we all had. It's really good to see the response.
I had my first that said he already knew. So it's like sometimes they're more awkward to talk to when they're a bit, I don't want to say combative, anti-authoritarian, something along those lines. They're like, I didn't go to school. And what they mean by that is I wagged off a fair bit of school. I'm kind of like that myself. So I know what they mean when they say that. That doesn't mean they didn't have any school education. It means that they often buggered off down to the river to pull bongs. Right? That's what they actually mean. Because that's the word. They were rebellious at school when they say, I didn't go to school. What if I missed the science class? So you were going to some science classes then. Do you see what I mean? That's how the conversation goes. But in those instances, they're both combative because they automatically feel like they're on the back foot because they're like, well, no, I don't have the education that you might assume I've got. You're like, well, that's a good thing. And the one response I got that will also be released over the weekend was a guy saying, I already knew that. I already knew space was fake. If I hadn't been there, why would I assume it's real? And you're like, this is a guy saying, no, I didn't go to school, and kind of downplaying his stature educationally. So that was another interesting one. But yeah, he said he already knew. I even titled the video that. Man says he already knew space is fake. 114 people watching. In light of the short pause, I'll do a little plug. Please share the show if you've not done so already. A very warm welcome to 115 people that are watching. There's a good chance you're only here because other people have already shared the show. Thank you to all the regulars who shared. A very warm welcome to all of you who just got here. Smash the share button if you've not done so already. Also, we are in Politics Discord server today, so it's our regular haunt on a Friday. We are guests in the Politics server. I might mention something about that in a moment once I finish this call to action. Hopefully one of the moderators will stick a link to the Politics Discord server, which graciously have us as their guests on a Friday, to tell them how to move forward on the front foot as flat earthers. That's our main purpose in being here, along with obviously getting to see a few new faces and be on a neutral platform that I have no control over. Speaking of which, this might get interrupted. What I've taken to doing, and you'll hear it in the pre-show, is because I've got no control of shutting the people up when they start chanting through a rebuttal that I've given them twice or three times. I've just taken to doing what they do, which is just doing the zealot mute button. I'll just get up close to my mic and start talking as they're talking. Now, I normally pick the timing so that it's comedic, which is when they start stumbling over their own words and trying to get their sentence fragment out. That's the point that I jump in with a big grin and start doing what they've just done to me 3 minutes earlier, which is chant through a response. I mean, when I do it, it automatically descends into audio chaos and everybody joins in, because that's the main aim for the person that's losing. If I can descend this into audio chaos, the response won't get heard, the question won't get delivered, and a rebuttal won't be required. Now, I'll do it after already having won, just to annoy the person, and if audio chaos ensues, I'll just laugh about it. It's like, well, I've got no control of the mute button, I've only got a fundy mute button to use as well. So I'll use it after you've done it to me 2 or 3 times. So it's justifiable. It's not. It's just sinking to their level for the amusement factor. Anyway, you can check that out as a member when it gets published, which is after we finish recording, which is later on, maybe an hour or two. 180
Notice how the attitude changes when you talk about latitude.
The attitude changes with latitude?
Their attitude changes with latitude.
Yes, it does. Shout out to Phoenix Rising 86. Shout out to John Thor for remixing Nathan as Dr. Evil in his latest video. Glad you reminded me. Yes, big shout out to John Thor. So what he did was take the live stream and did what I did, basically. He took the sections that he thought were the most relevant of Thunderfoot in his education of a flat earth measurement of angle to Polaris and turned it into a video, but made me Dr. Evil. Every time I'm talking, Dr. Evil's like over the top of the what you'd see now, like with reality and the super chat going past or whatever. So, oops, I've got the old video over the top of my... There we go. Shout out to... Who is it that gave that super chat? Flat Earth Travolta. Thank you very much indeed for gifting 5 memberships. And yeah, thank you, John Thor. I did leave a message on his video when I woke up at 5:30, or was woken up by one of my kids at 5:30 with a tooth hanging out of her face. Anybody else see that? Me as Dr. Evil. No? John Thor did a video with me as Dr. Evil, as I just explained. Check it out if you haven't done so already. Right, next.
Nathan, would you like to speak to Atheist Junior? He is telling us about how gravity works.
Sure. Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Negative. It's not
Atheist, you're up.
science. It's not physics.
Atheist, you are up.
So yeah, there are a couple different lines of evidence. One of them would be gravitational lensing.
Tell us all about it.
Well, it's a phenomenon that occurs when you have a massive object in space and it bends light due to its gravitational pull, and it's been observed. bends the light due to its gravitational pull on space and time.
Space and time? Can you show me that?
Yes. Excuse me?
Show me space-time, please.
Show you space-time? You're currently occupying it. You're moving through light speed. You're moving through it right now at light speed.
Oh, no, I'm just
You're
sat in my
moving through
chair.
time at light speed, sorry.
I'm just sat in my chair.
I know. And yet you're moving forward through time.
Telling me what I'm doing isn't
Not
showing
really.
me space-time.
I'm not quite sure how to show you space-time. It's
can't.
just everything around
You can't.
us. It's
You can't.
It's the reality.
You can't. I'm trying to
it's the
respond to
fabric
you.
of
I'm trying to
reality that we
respond
live
to
in.
you. You can't. You're not sure if you can. Yeah, that means shut up then. You can't because it's conceptual. It was invented by Einstein. It's a dimension in a geometry. Space-time is a fourth dimension in pseudo-Riemannian space-time geometry invented by Einstein. Can't show it me. It's not real. It's a concept invented by a man called Einstein. Second time's a charm.
I thought I was supposed to like prove gravity, not show you space-time.
That is gravity.
I can show you space-time
That
being
is
bent.
gravity. Gravity is the claim by Einstein in pseudo-Riemannian geometry of the uneven distribution of mass causing the bending and warping of space-time. Do you not know what gravity is?
Yeah, I know what gravity is.
Yeah, it's a concept.
said.
Yeah, it's a concept. A fourth dimensional geometry. That's maths.
Like, you know, something can be a concept.
Why isn't he affirming this? Why isn't he? A minute ago, he told me he had. Stop. You told me you had a phenomena. Now, that phenomena isn't scientific evidence. You obviously don't know what scientific evidence is, or you'd have given it me and you didn't. What you did do is suggest that a bent, warping, pseudo-Riemannian conceptual geometry is a phenomena. It isn't. Let's not move on. Let's have you affirm that you understand that you're not going to be showing me Jack in a conceptual geometry. Gravity's conceptual.
No, just because something is a concept doesn't mean that it's like conceptual and therefore not
okay.
real.
No worries. Do you want to show me space-time? We're back at the beginning. Circle, jerk, fundy. Show me space-time. Go.
Okay, well, we can see that around massive objects, space-time is bent.
That's
So
begging the question.
That's why we're able
That's
to
begging
see
the
light.
question. That was your
Tiny-
claim. That was your claim phenomena,
not.
and now you're ascribing it through a begging the question fallacy. That's pathetic. You're not showing me space-time, you're just begging the question now.
Show me reality.
Don't ask me something. You've just begged the question and you're non-responsive to it. Telling me what I'm going to do. You don't have scientific... I'm going to conclude. You don't have scientific evidence of gravity. It's a pseudo-Riemannian bent space-time geometry. That's conceptual, mathematical, not real, not physics, not science. Stating that you've looked at something happening in the sky is wonderful. You might, at best, have a naturally occurring phenomena. What you have not done is put that through the scientific method and establish the cause of it. You just begged the question that bent space-time, a pseudo-geometry caused it. Now I've put that to you twice. I don't need a question from you. You just need to accept your defeat.
Okay. Oh, that was fast. So if you don't like my evidence for gravity, how do we try a different one? How about
You
gravitational
didn't give me...
waves?
Stop! No, it wasn't about how much I like something. You said you got scientific evidence. You didn't.
Yeah,
Scientific evidence... I don't
I
need you
just gave
yammering
you-
through me. You've just responded by telling me I don't like something. Yeah, now I'm going to respond to that. Crap reply.
Okay.
No, it wasn't
here we
about
go.
me. I'm going to be yammered through as I address his reply that I don't like something. No, a pseudo-geometry invented by Einstein isn't about whether or not I like something. It's conceptual. That was my rebuttal. You've taken my rebuttal, ignored it, hand-waved it, and boiled it down to something it isn't, which is whether or not I like something. No, I understand pseudo-Riemannian space-time as a concept in a geometry where the uneven distribution of mass described mathematically will cause the bending and warping of the fourth dimension, which we don't have in physical reality. Length, breadth, depth, that's it. Time is also a concept, it's not a dimension. Einstein saying it is and creating it in maths doesn't make it something that's physical. You haven't shown it in science. You've claimed a phenomena and then begged the question. And then told me that I don't like something. I think I'm done with this asshole. And tell me what I don't like when I summarise your defeat.
We talk about gravitational waves.
The ones you begged the question of a moment ago, I've already dealt with them. I just told you begged the question that warping space-time caused them. And now I'm addressing him and he's talking as I readdress the exact thing I've repeated twice already, that he's now asking me whether or not I want to talk about it. I addressed it specifically. Gravitational lensing is a concept within Einstein's geometry. I've already dealt with it. Sorry, I'm getting annoyed because I'm dealing with something multiple times.
It's a different concept.
I'm dealing with something. I'm appealing to the mods while I get chanted through. I've dealt with him 3 times. I don't see why my blood pressure should be raised and I should be told I don't like things by a zealot who hasn't acknowledged a single word I've said to him in refutation of his garbage he had claim that he had science for. He didn't. I've dealt with him. I don't want to be told again what I don't like or asked if I can deal with lensing in pseudo 4-space geometry when I've dealt with it 3 times. I'm done with him. Next. Bloody zealots. Raising my sodding blood pressure, asking me if I can deal with something. You can't acknowledge my response. You can only ask me if I can deal with something I've literally just dealt with. How irritating. Maybe pay attention. "10 minutes left on this live stream. Any other zealots want to tell me how Earth curve exists, gravitational concepts are real? Feel free."
Meanwhile, the Earth is measured flat.
Well said.
The Greeks all knew that.
So did Einstein. He's dealing with an asymptotically flat plane in pseudo-Riemannian 4th-dimensional space-time. You need a flat Earth to describe that geometry also. Why do you think they tell you your space is flat?
It's not that space is actually flat.
It's just that you have to describe it that way mathematically with an asymptotically flat plane like Einstein did. Like space is described. Flat.
It's like different descriptions for different types of...
Like, do you want to stop mumbling? Gussie, up to your mic.
No, I don't know. I've got nothing to argue in this one. I've got no arguments. I'll be a baseless bullshitter like Harp said in the side chat.
Fair enough. No, I appreciate that. But if you're a globe believer and you're I don't really have any good arguments, fair enough.
But like, you believe in the flat Earth theory?
No, it's measured flat. There is no theory. That's a category error. It's not science. We're not dealing with experimentation to form scientific theory. It's measurements of Earth, like elevation angles to form the maps and models. Latitude, for example.
So do you think that general model of the flat
Earth even
is
answered
like
his
a
question,
working
he's chanting
solution?
through me because it's painful. If you don't have anything to say and you've got no decent arguments, what makes you think you're worthy of interrupting me answering you?
Because no one else is speaking and you can't...
While I'm talking, nobody else is speaking? What, no one's backing up me answering your question while you start talking through it? Earth's measured flat. You're in a category error when you ask me about my theory. Stop talking while I'm answering you.
You need to get your dick chopped off.
Can you remove this man from the call, please? That's what happens when a zealot finds out Earth's measured flat. They tell me I need to remove my penis. That's what they do when they find out how Earth is measured flat. And that it's not a belief and it's not a theory in a category error. I'm told I need to chop my dick off. Or I get swore at when I put them between a rock and a hard place about their latitude lines on their globe that they can't measure when they deny them as concepts. Then I'll get told to F off. Share your pain, zealot.
Chopping your dick off won't alter the fact that, the latitude grid is an elevation angle to and from Polaris measured at sea level.
Yeah. But when you lose your globe faith and are made to feel stupid by a flat earther, you'd rather have the flat earther chop their own dick off. Yeah, you would, wouldn't you? Maybe you'd like to send me to Antarctica. Yeah, I bet you would. Share your pain.
And I don't know what you're doing to these guys, but it's bad this past month. They are just going crazy.
Yeah, I can tell by the
Now
amount of
we're chopping
response.
dicks off. You chop your dick off, then it becomes a ball again. Earth becomes a ball.
Yes.
You're going to need a flat plane for the Earth to become a ball.
You are, yeah. That's why they all hate us at the moment. They can't get out of the situation they're in a true dichotomy. We've got latitude. Do you accept it? Yeah, I do. Well, you accept that we measure Earth flat then. No, I don't. It's conceptual. Well, then you deny your globe as just being a mere concept. Well, I do accept it. Well, then Earth's measured flat. Well, I don't accept it. Well, then you don't have a globe to believe in. What are you going to do? Tell me that it is accepted on the basis that I postulate it as a claim I'm making. No, latitude's a measurement. You can try and weasel around it and make it into Nathan Oakley's claim, as happened in the pre-show, but it's still just a measurement off a flat Earth, whether you like it or not. Trying to make it my claim won't succeed. It'll just mean that you deny your globe latitude lines based on Nathan Oakley's concept of latitude. That's what you'll have to deal with. I love it. It's a true dichotomy. We've either got latitude, measured, or we haven't. If we haven't, you haven't got a globe. If we have, Earth's measured flat. That's it. Like it or lump it.
Red pill, blue pill.
Basically, you take the red pill, you accept Earth's measured flat. You take the blue pill, you deny your globe as a concept.
Hold on, Nathan, that's not fair. You're not giving them no wiggle room.
No, zero. I mean, they try and have wiggle room. I'll accept latitude as a concept that Nathan Oakley makes as a claim. Okay, well, if it's denied on the basis that it's just Nathan Oakley's claim, we haven't got a globe with latitude around it. Oh, we have got latitude wrapped around a globe. Oh, well, then we've got latitude measured off a flat plane because that's what it is.
Yeah, they're definitely in between a rock and a flat place.
Certainly are. Got time for one more fundy, ladies and gentlemen. Next. Alternatively, we can have 3 minutes of protracted silences. It's just as good. The interesting thing about the politics shows, right, is, in my opinion, they're the best shows. They've got the most debate content. Given the name of the show, Flat Earth Debate, the politics server generates the most debate. Therefore, should be the best shows. They're the least viewed. But this today's show, even though it's got 116 live viewers, for whatever reason, they barely scrape up to 1,000 views over their week that they're live before the next one. Isn't that weird? Please share the show if you've not done so already.
What sort of views do we get in the week then?
Over 1,000.
And
I'm not
you might
expecting
come to get to a point though where we're demonstrating Earth's measured flat. There's a bit of argumentation and a debate going on, like you say. But it's come to a point now where we all know this, don't we? We've been through this. We're just pointing out the facts of the matter again, and people just might want to concentrate on other things now going forward. I know we're going forward on the front foot with Earth is measured flat, but you understand what I'm saying? People used to just thrive off the argumentation, didn't they? And the back and forth debate type of thing, even though it's not a debate. But maybe just happy now to listen when we're on the show in the week, discussing things and getting into detail about other things and, criticising and putting our own arguments in order.
No,
that's quite interesting sometimes.
I think it's more the fact that people prefer us watching videos and taking them apart than they do listening to a debate. People would rather listen to that Thunderfoot video, for instance. That's been so well received. Whereas, like I say, by contrast, you would think, given the nature of what you've just suggested, people want the debate. Well, regardless of whether or not, in this instance, unlike most neutral outcomes that occur in flat Earth discussions, this one does have a conclusion, but it doesn't become the most popular show, even though it's the one with the most debate in it. video responses do. Anyway, we'll ponder that at another time, because with that, I'm going to say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to all of you. Smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, or gifted a free membership, and all that good stuff. Be sure to support me on Patreon and PayPal, which links are below this video. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.